My ears echoed.
Oh, there it is.
My name is Joseph Evans.
My name is Bradley Funkhauser.
If you're new here, thank you for clicking on this podcast. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for listening. This is episode 2, and this is the origin story.
Yeah, how it all began for Joe and I, dude. This is gonna be hilarious, man. I'm really stoked. I think people need to know why we're buddies, why we do videos like this, and how long we've been doing it for.
Absolutely.
TravelFishFilm is like 4 years old?
Yeah.
But we've been friends for a lot longer than that.
Gosh, it's actually older than that. TravelFishFilm is probably
Really?
6 years old.
Weird.
No, you're right. 4.
Yeah,
About 4 years
and
old.
we're 6.
Yes. I mean, how old are you?
I'm 24.
And I'm 23. And we've been friends a long time.
Yeah, this started, well, what do we say? We just jumped right into this.
I think we just did it right there.
I mean, you guys are here, you tuned in, so let's get to the juice. Yeah, we met in high school, believe it or not. I actually slid in his DMs. I slid in Ida Fly's DMs, bro.
You did?
That's crazy talk.
You were just like, I wonder if we go back and find it.
There's no way.
There's no way. It would take hours.
But, oh man, yeah, I remember seeing a post. Joe posted a picture of a rainbow trout with a half-eaten, regurgitated, it choked and died, like a trout had choked and died on the Boise River from another fish that had eaten.
It was a big brown.
Oh, was it a brown?
A brown regurgitated on
rainbow.
a wild 12-inch rainbow. Not a stalker, like a wild. It was a wild fish eating a wild fish.
Yeah. I remember seeing that, and I remember getting excited about fly fishing because I had just recently got into it, and I was like fishing pretty hard around the place, and I was like, oh, this kid's fishing the same places, and I knew the exact spot that was pictured because I could see the background, and I was like, I fished that yesterday. I was like, oh, I should reach out and see what's up. So I did. And it's kind of funny that we are where we are now.
Because we were in high school. Well, I was a sophomore. You were a senior. No, we met when I was a
junior.
You were a junior and I was
You
a
were a
freshman.
freshman.
That's right.
Because I remember
2 different high schools across town, like 45 minutes away.
Yeah. We really weren't supposed to meet or be friends. If it wasn't for Instagram, we wouldn't be friends.
And man, social media,
Isn't that crazy?
love-hate relationship with it, honestly. But
Yeah.
we wouldn't be here without it.
No.
And a lot of my really good friends, heck, even Sam from episode 1,
Absolutely.
our boy, wouldn't have met him without Instagram. A lot of my really good friends I wouldn't have met without social media. So shout out social media.
Yeah, shout out, obviously, we have to shout out social media because it's what we're doing right now.
Literally.
You know what I mean? It's
We just did it right here.
just did it right there. It's networking,
So we're in high school. I'm a freshman. I'm playing basketball. You're captain of the varsity baseball team. Mm-hmm. You're big time. I'm little baby still. I'm not even close to hitting puberty yet.
No.
Like, granted, I got blonde hair, bowl cut, little baby. Like the babyest of baby. Let's just snap in a photo right here.
Crazy. Absolutely crazy. Like, I remember...
You had a full beard. You had full facial hair, and I wasn't even dang close.
I remember the first time we went fishing because I messaged you. We had talked a couple times on Instagram, and then you pulled up to my house in Boise, and we carpooled over to one of our favorite fisheries.
Yeah.
Which is about 2 hours from Boise.
Yeah.
And we carpooled together in my Subi, when I had a Subi at the time.
You wanted to drive.
I wanted to drive because I did.
God,
I looked at it.
I missed that Subaru, dude. You have a good truck now, but that thing's got some fun memories.
And I didn't want him to drive because I didn't think that he had his driver's license that long. I didn't actually know he was 14. Were you 14 or 15? I mean, if anything, you were 14 or 15 and you were a child. He was a child. And I was 16, but also pretty childish.
Mm-hmm.
But
And we come from 2 very different family styles, kind of.
yeah, I mean, our backgrounds are we're actually complete opposites.
We're complete opposites. But we both love to fish. But what was so funny was that day we met, you put the ball in your court because that was the only fishery you knew like the back of your hand.
Absolutely. But it's the only one I've been fishing.
And granted, I'd fished it a handful of times, but not so much in the summer via walk and wait. So you kind of had the lowdown. You kind of took over that day with the dry fly thing. Do you know we can't plug the video because they're gonna go find it?
We can't plug the video, dude.
No, we can. What do we do?
All right. Since you're watching this, and there's only so many people that watch this,
You know what?
and they're true fans if you're watching the podcast, in my opinion.
We're not gonna plug the video. Yeah, you are a true fan.
We should
Well
totally
said.
plug the video.
Okay, we're going to plug a quick segment right now. I'm going to go find a way to get it. We're going to plug it in. We're not going to tell you the name and where you can find it.
Yeah, we're not gonna give away.
That's for another podcast.
Yeah, that's for a different one. But it is so funny, and we did filmed a
YouTube video the first time we hung out,
and we didn't talk on DM like, yo, is it cool? Like you didn't ask like, yo, is it cool if we film or anything like that. Like it was on the way up. You're like, I got some GoPros and I got a camera.
It was like it's honestly still is to this day my second nature. It's like I have a camera.
You just do it. He just brings the camera.
That was a GoPro Hero 2. We're using 12s now. Isn't that nuts?
Hero 2s, dude. That thing was sick. And the video is rad.
It's actually super rad.
I don't care who you are. It was lit. We can plug the name of it. We can plug the name of it. We can say the name of the video.
You know what? If people stumble across that, they can make fun of us all they want. They can have a cancel folder, but it just honestly shows the grind. Like truthfully, I've been doing YouTube for
a long time.
8 years.
Before he had TravelFishFilm, he had a different YouTube
channel with different buddies and different channel for my own thing. Like the video is called Caddis Madness.
Caddis Madness.
And that's literally what it was.
And then guess what? Like the first video that ever blew up with us was March Madness. So it's like basically
we should start naming all the YouTube videos Madness.
The
origin story Madness.
Why did we do that? That's so funny. That Madness.
Great name. Great name.
I mean, March Madness makes sense because of the
the Caddis were Madness. So we pull up to the river. It was like an hour drive, and we stayed in the same spot. I think almost the whole day.
Well, it was crushing, and there was fish up eating caddis. We were crushing them on just like.
What was kind of even fun too is like we had our moments where we split up and fished, but we also, we weren't even that awkward to be honest either.
We got along
right away, but we knew we were polar opposites. Again, like you were captain of the baseball varsity, like grown, and I was still little babe.
No, we have a great day. Like we fished.
We had a good dynamic.
We
even took turns.
We took turns. It was good, and it was like sometimes when you go fish with people, it's not always the greatest experience. You know, sometimes like we've fished with some people every once in a while. I mean, the whole guiding thing is different. Obviously, it don't matter if the day's good or bad. If you're guiding, that's guiding.
You're gonna have fun.
But like I fished with some people that I probably wouldn't fish with again.
For sure.
But I remember fishing with Joe, Lil Baby Joe, and we still call him Lil Baby Joe, but I'm talking he was actually Lil Baby Joe. I mean, he was.
Let's put a second picture right here.
He was a little kid, and I was a youngin' too, but I had like so much ego because I had like a lot of hype from the whole high school thing or whatever, and I was a little older, and I had just got done with puberty, so I felt like a grown man, and I was like stunting on Little Baby Joe. But Joe by far knew more about fly fishing before me because I only started fly fishing that year. I started fly fishing when I was 16 years old.
I started fly fishing when I was probably 12. I started tying flies when I was like in middle school.
I remember when you showed up with all of like triple the amount of flies and like different ways of fishing.
I think you had one box.
I only fished dry flies.
That's it. You'd only and you really only had fished that river. Other than like a couple other outings.
Yeah, no, I mean, I spent that fall, and then we started fishing that in the spring, or that June or whatever. And
that's right.
That was why I knew how to fish was because...
We kind of banged them up.
No. We did. We did.
The clip that of that big one rising in the slough. Yo, bang.
It was the big drop. It was Jensen before Jensen was Jensen.
Dude, that was Caddis Madness Jensen fly fishing style, dude. That was awesome.
I remember Joe zoomed in on the camera or whatever, and I'm like over shoulder. I'm like, dude, did you get it? Is it in focus? Like before we even knew about what anything was.
Don't even know how to slow mo it. But the biggest fish that day, I remember we ended up hooking it and it came off.
I don't remember that.
We got him on camera eating naturals, and then we hooked him, and then he was like the big one, and we didn't get him, but we probably caught 4, 5, 6 fish on top, all like 16-inch plus rad ones.
Mm-hmm. But overall, we had a great day, and then we go home, and he drives away in his Tacoma,
same one,
which was crazy. At the time, and now it's even crazier. He still has it.
Same one.
I'm really hoping you get a new truck so you can stop taking my big new truck to BC. Maybe we take your big truck to BC one day. Obviously, I'm joking. We'll
get there.
The cloud I got for having that dope rig up in BC is like too much. That I loved it too much. So I want to be that
the e-bike with the Rio Craft.
It was just so sick. Okay, sorry, getting off track. But we go home that day, and I'm thinking to myself like, oh, good kid, but he's a dweeb. flat out dweeb. You know what I mean? He was
sure.
making scooter videos. He had showed me in the car a video of him doing like a 360 thing.
Dude, I
scooter.
scootered hard.
He scootered hard, filmed it hard, and I remember kind of being like, I was a dick. So sorry.
Hey, just keep running. Roll it. Own it.
Roll it. I was being a D-bag at that point, and I was kind of like, he's just some dorky kid, and he ain't, I don't really want to hang out with him anymore. But I remember we got along great, but he drove away.
Didn't talk for probably a couple weeks, month.
2 weeks, 3 weeks. We never even talked to each other again. It's crazy.
And then, I don't know if it was text or DM again.
Yeah, you DM'd me back again.
Yeah.
And you said, hey, I want to go night fish the river in town, and I would really appreciate it if you come with me because my mom, your mom wouldn't let him go fishing.
And I still would all the time, Mom. You know that. Love you, but I would go all the time behind her back. But I think that was kind of also I honestly enjoy fishing with friends more than I do alone. Sometimes,
especially at night.
Oh, for sure. I mean, at night alone just isn't the same. It's cool, but it's not nearly as fun.
No, it's spooky. It's not fun, and honestly, it's not really that safe if you're.
It's true.
And to kids out there, we're not saying if you want to be great, you have to just start fly fishing at night and doing crazy stuff. You don't.
No.
You build all you become a great fly fisherman by being in the light.
I 100% agree.
You only can be good at night fishing is if you get really good at day fishing, and then
that's
you can
so
transfer
true.
over. So don't be going out there.
It's actually very dangerous if you're alone. So.
Yeah. And if you don't know what you're at. So he asked me, right?
This is July now. So yeah, that was a month later.
Yeah, it was a month
July. It's July 4th or something. It was around that time.
Yeah, and I remember I had a baseball game the next day, and at this point in my life, I was taking baseball extremely seriously. The only reason why I picked up fly fishing was because I looked in the mirror one day and had an epiphany that I wasn't going to play professional baseball because I'm only 5'10" and a tiny human. So, that's kind of a heavy moment for a kid. But I realized I needed to find a hobby to do because my main love in life was going to be gone soon. But I took it super seriously. So I was like, I don't know, man. I got a game tomorrow. I don't know if I can go night fish. And I think he hit me with a come on, man, please. He hit me with come on, dude. Let's go rip it.
Something.
I was
this is where I don't remember too much, but heck, you ended up doing it.
Yeah.
You full sent it.
I was like, all right, screw it.
You hadn't night fished ever before, had you?
Never. And I'd never night fished, and I had a 4-weight with full sink line that I thought was a 6-weight, but it didn't have the number on the rod. And I was ripping that little stick around, and I'm like, this is my streamer setup. And you grabbed, didn't you say you grabbed it and you're like, this isn't a 6-weight, brother.
Because again, I'd started fishing before you, so I had been night fishing. I had fished the in-town stretch we were going to a lot. It was a stretch I loved. And this time the ball was in my court for this fishing session.
Definitely his court. You literally babied me around. I remember him grabbing me and walking me around because I was like a baby deer walking around at night. I had no idea what I was doing.
And it was in a stretch of the river you've never seen during the day, which is also makes night fishing very difficult.
Super difficult.
So
I even fell in that night.
You did?
I remember. Okay, so we fish all night and we're out there, and I remember
we actually went hard.
Oh, I remember my mom. I was like, hey, I'm going to go night fishing. She thought I was absolutely batshit, right? She's like, there's no way you're going night fishing. And I said, no, this is something that happens. This is what we do. I'm going to do it. I was like, don't worry. I'm going to be home by 3.
And you drove 40 minutes away as well. We weren't fishing near your house. We were fishing near my house.
We went to your neck of the woods.
Oh, yeah.
And I drove out there, and I was like, and I had a Life 360 tracker, so my mom was tracking me all night.
Oh, yeah.
And so they sent it, and we fished almost all night.
Pretty sure I caught a rainbow early into the night, a smaller one.
And then I caught a little rainbow.
Okay, that's right.
I remember catching a tiny little rainbow. And so but the vibes, dude, I don't know how to explain
completely different than the first outing.
We were best friends. By middle of the night, we were talking like I'd known the kid my whole life. And it was so funny. And I fall in, it's hilarious. And at this point, my phone's dead. It's 4:30 in the morning.
It was so late.
And we're ripping it. We're still ripping it.
And the reason why we were still ripping it was because you brought that freaking Bang energy.
The Bangs were big at that point in the world.
That was the startup of kind of some new energy drinks coming out. Now that you go into a gas station, there's 100 different energy drinks. But heck, Back then, it was Red Bull and
Bang and Monster, and the Bangs were new. And it was 300 milligrams of caffeine for 2 kids who'd never had that before.
We couldn't finish it. We split it. And you know what's so funny is we still split drinks to this day, like all the time.
There's only one drink here for a reason. Like, we just split drinks all the time. That's
so funny. But dude, that Bang, I remember you drank some of it, and you're like, dude, I can't finish this. And I had like 4 sips, and I was tweaking off a bean. I was freaking.
I remember you shaking.
I was shaking, and this was at like 2 a.m. too. So this was early. This was after you fell in. We took a break, and we started drinking the Bang.
Drinking the Bang. That's right.
Your phone's dead. Mom has no clue where you are. You're 40 minutes from home.
And we're out there, and we're having a blast. We're on fire.
Honestly, the night went so fast.
It was so fun. And then, and this is right here what's about to happen. It's 4:30 in the morning. We are fishing the very last spot that we wanted to fish. We were almost done. Joe's ripping it. I'm upstream, far away from it. And this moment here really solidified why we're still sitting here today, which is pretty crazy that how this happened. But I'm gonna let Joe explain it because it was by his hand. So take it away. But I remember hearing upstream, Bradley.
There's one. There he is. Hey, quote that. You guys, if you guys have heard any watch of our, if you ever watched any of our other videos, you know that when we stick them, you hear it. There he is. Should we make a TFF shirt that says "There he is"?
That'd be sick. It's just a brown getting jacked.
There he is.
Just getting stuck with 2 big
all right.
bucks.
4:30 in the morning. Yeah. We're shaking off a Bang. We're getting towards the end of the night. I mean, heck, it was actually starting to get semi-light out. 100%. And this is dead beat of July. So we're just in sun hoodies and waders, and we really were just vibing. Night was going quick, and I had a self-tied black and purple sculpin intruder. If you don't know what that is, that's an intruder is like in Spay World, you have a wire piece coming off the shank and a little octopus hook. And I had it pierced into the back of the black rabbit. She's like, dude, I give myself mad props. Like,
you were way fishing.
There was no other kid. I don't know many other kids freshman year of high school who'd be tying black and purple sculpin intruders out at 4:45 in the morning. Like, got to give ourselves a little street cred. That's lit.
Oh,
that's lit.
No, 100%.
And I had
you'd be doing that thing.
I had on a floating line, and then I had 10 feet of a sink tip of some sort, connected loop to loop. I don't remember what type of sink tip. It was not a dredger. It's more of an intermediate.
Which is crazy because you've never fished an intermediate ever again.
It was more. It was more like a.
And you've never tied a sculpin intruder after that.
No, I've never tied a sculpin intruder that lit.
That lit. No,
still have it.
It was like red eyes, black, purple UV.
Dude, it's still. Oh my gosh, a lot of overlays to put into this one.
Oh, yeah, we'll throw a
bunch of views to see in this one. Okay, sick. And I'm swinging it through the middle of this run. Bradley, you were in the tail out, I think, just below me. And dude, I just cast it across, and it's on my hang down. And I let it swing, let it sink, let it really get down. It's kind of a swirly spot, to be honest with you.
Super trippy spot.
And as it kind of got mid column, I bring it back up, and like 2 or 3 strips. Dude, I still remember this heat. It wasn't typically when you're swinging and the current's ripping and your fly's coming up, you have very good tension. Mm-hmm. So you can feel everything going on as you bring it back up. Excuse me. And this was it just went slack. Like I was stripping, and then all of a sudden it felt like there was just nothing. And instead of me speeding it up, I just raised the rod and I had a fish. And I was like, oh my gosh. Like, I knew right away it was a fish.
Did you trout set?
I did. I mean, I stripped once. As I stripped in between, I knew it was weird. So I was like a slow pull and a slow lift, and then it was just.
So that brown came up and ate it coming up.
Yep.
And put slack in
the line. Because I mean, I was tight to the fly, sink tip on.
So he came up and grabbed it.
Oh yeah, when he grabbed it, slack it. He smoked it, and set the hook, fighting it. And I had caught a couple of fish at night, especially on the in-town stretch. After football games, after basketball games. So I knew I was expecting, big fish on this river is a 20-inch fish is like you're screaming out of your boots on this river.
I had never seen a brown trout at 20 inches yet.
So it was, this point as we're getting it to the net, we turn I don't think we even had headlamps.
Dude, we had iPhone.
We had an iPhone light. Pretty sure.
No, I had a hand flash.
Okay, gotcha.
I remember the image I saw when I spotlighted and turned it on and look at Joe.
Dude, what was going through your head? That moment's still a blur to me.
That moment, well, I think that if viewers have ever been in the situation where they have like a really big fish on, or they're fighting something that's, you know, pretty epic, you black out. I mean, you don't really recall much, especially as a kid seeing it for the first time. But I do remember turning on the light, running up or down river. I don't know where I was, but I got to you. You're corked.
Dude, the thing was heavy.
Corked. And I'm like, what is, turn on the light, zoom in, and it's just glowing, giant, yellow, massive brown. And we're just like, and it's the laugh, giggle, scream thing that happens right there. It was so funny. You're like, whoa! And then it's also like, oh shit, we need to land. Like now,
you have to land this little octopus hook.
Laughing before is now like semi-serious, but can't believe what we're seeing.
And this fish, I remember too, when you saw it, there was a second half to the fight. He went back down into the current because we were in kind of a back eddy, and we got to the top of the run versus the bottom of the run. Like I got him out of the current, and we were there. And I remember that we pulled him up, you light on, we saw it, and we're like, whoa, like that's a nice fish. I don't even think we knew how big it was though in that moment. Like that's a nice brown.
By far the biggest fish I'd ever seen though.
Oh, for sure. You hadn't seen anything like that yet. Nor had I really.
Yeah.
Still haven't. Put it in the net. 27.5 inch brown trout.
Massive.
In the middle of July.
The net job was crazy because I'd already fallen in that night, so I'm already soaked. So
you were just going
in
with
that thing with it, and we were in that back eddy, and I remember those rocks, the basalt,
big basalt rocks.
Like you can't really get a grip, and you can fall in. And I remember falling in. I remember when I netted it, my arms were completely like soaked in the water from like the splash and like trying to net it. But we had one of those really shallow bag fish ponds.
Yeah, it was just one. Yep.
And so we could barely fit it in there. And then I remember tailing it, and then it was just the most elated like feeling.
It was,
dude. The feeling on that river is like something I could never describe, and there's yet to ever feel it again. It was epic.
Dude, it was. I think it was 4. Because again, it was like 4:30 when we were fishing. We were getting near the end. You knew you had a game, but you just almost like you forgot.
Oh, I totally forgot and didn't care. I mean,
You didn't care.
Obsessed with what we were doing, and I thought it was so cool. It was the first time I ever.
Because it was so new to you as well. 27.5 inches. We measured it.
Yeah,
which I'm so proud of us.
Yeah, so we never bring tapes now.
We didn't measure girth, but that was at that time, and to this day still my personal best.
Well, that is
my personal best.
At that point.
No, I haven't caught a brown trout bigger than that.
You caught him again.
Okay, we're getting into that.
Well, then don't say it was
27. That fish. I was saying that fish is my biggest fish. Sorry,
Shoot,
my
I just
bad.
gave it away.
No, it's okay. We're gonna get right into it. You're good, dude. Then we land that fish. Look, we're gonna finish the story.
That fish is very important.
That fish is very important.
Yeah.
We're gonna talk about that fish a lot more in this origin story.
But legit, so he lands it. We take pictures of it. I even took a picture with it. Dude, I mean, that was before I even knew that was improper etiquette.
Oh my gosh.
Never take a picture ever with your buddy's fish. In my opinion, unless you're in the picture next to him holding it, don't ever do that. I didn't know that at that point.
Dude, you never held a fish like that.
Never. But it was funny.
You hold it way better.
Still to this day.
Do you have it, the picture?
I do not, and I can't find it. It's a bummer. I have to go in my memories.
It's probably in like your iCloud somewhere deep.
I think it's in my memories in my Snapchat. But
Bradley's such a Snapchatter, by the way.
I grew up Snapchatting, and I'm still Snapchatting. That's how all the boys still stay in contact.
That's
a group chat. That's just whatever. Besides the point.
Besides
the point. Why do you always got to do that? To
Episode 1. Besides the point.
But we land that thing. I remember like skipping out back to the car. Like we're
walking back,
laughing, joking, like can't believe what
just happened.
We just
Dude,
see.
it's sun is coming up. It's light out now.
Sun's coming up.
5 in the morning.
And we're getting to my Subaru, and there's these headlights just
pulled in.
Just beaming
behind our car.
And I'm like, and I immediately thought, I was like, coppers. It's the coppers. We're not supposed to be
because we were probably just screaming loud.
Trespassing. Or we didn't trespass or anything. It was completely public land, but it was like we parked in a pretty funky spot, and we were extremely loud.
Well, we were near, this stretch of river that we grew up fishing is an urban fishery. There's homes everywhere, specifically in this place.
And nice homes.
Nice homes. Yeah. So who knows if someone called a noise complaint. That was instantly what we thought.
Yeah, I was instantly like, oh no. And I don't like getting in trouble like that. And so we get closer to the car, and all I hear coming out of the car is, "Are you effing kidding me?"
Lisa Decker.
And it's my mom. In the car, and she's like, your phone died 3 hours ago. I've been calling and texting you, and you ain't. Where the hell have you been? And she's
What time was your game that morning?
I had a game at 11:30. Okay, I had a game at 11:30, and she's like, "You got a game today?" And my mom was like an epic baseball mom. I love her to death, and she really wanted me to succeed.
She pushed you.
No, she pushed me, and you have to have that if you want to be great. But she was pissed. And she actually woke up in the middle of the night because she couldn't see me on the tracker. She was convinced I was drowning in the Boise. And so she drove all around. Oh, I said the river. That's fine. You guys don't.
Dude, it's fine.
I have it tattooed on my body. So it's okay.
Urban River.
But
grew up.
Like she drove a long ways without any knowledge of where I was. From just going off the last pin, finds the car, and is sitting there waiting for me and ambushes us good.
And I'm just sitting there watching him get his ass chewed out by Lisa. And we're zombied out at this point. Bang has ran out of us.
Oh.
But we were still on cloud 9. That's the funniest part.
Part.
Amidst of him getting chewed out. I'm scared.
Yeah, she's in the back. He's like, "Hi, Lisa." And I'm like, "I'm sorry, Mom. Like, I messed up. I'm sorry."
You won't believe it. But choke up this fish. Look at this fish. And she don't give a crap.
I was like, "But Mom, look at this brown. It's giant. He got it like 15 minutes ago, Mom. Like, look at it." And she's like, "Get home, get some rest. You better play the best goddamn game of your life." And she just storms off and drives away, skirts out of there. And we're
40-minute drive, dude. This is not a 20-minute drive from your house. This is a 40-minute drive. Yeah. She drove at 4. She must have left her house at 4:40.
Yeah.
No, she left her house at 5:15, and she got there at 6 a.m.
Yeah.
Whatever.
I don't know, but she was there, and she was pissed. And I told her I would be back by 3. I told her I'd have my phone on me, and all that went. So it's like, of course, Mom's pissed. But I mean, it's funny because I talked to my mom about that story. I remember bringing it up not too long ago, and she was like laughing about it because she was driving home like, what? I can't really get too mad at him because he's not like he's out partying or doing anything bad or like, he's just fishing. He was with a buddy. He was safe. He did what he wanted. Like, he's having fun in a safe way. But like, she was still pissed. But it was just like, I remember her talking about it. She's like, I still have mixed emotions about that.
That moment. That's a legendary moment.
But the greatest thing about it, though, was I did end up having the greatest game. One of the greatest games of my life. I remember it because I remember texting Joe after because you were like, "Bro, like, how did you play? Like, were you zombie? Like, were you tired?" And I was like, "Dude, I was on cloud 9. I've been on cloud 9 all day. That brown was epic. I mean, it literally solidified our relationship. Like, it was like now, and we've really never been completely separate from then. Dude, we became very, very close after that. We were so close. I mean, we were hanging out I was hanging out with you more than anybody else.
Dude, yeah, that was like, that was just 2 fishing trips. Mm-hmm. A Caddish trip and then a night trip. One in your court, one in mine. Now we're best buddies.
And it took off from there, but we've really never really been too much like separate ever since that moment. So like when everyone watches these videos and sees like how Joe and I interact with each other, like it's a brotherly thing more than it's a friend. Yeah, I mean, we've been hanging out for a very long time, and I also I feel the big brother thing because when I first met him, he was just a kid. I mean, he was a little kid, and I had a little bit. Yeah. I had 2 years on him, and 14 to 16 is a pretty big jump.
Yeah, you were like my big brother for sure. Yeah. And then all my friends changed, and from that moment, and then we'll get into that fish again. Yeah. From that moment in July, we're going through school. You're a junior. I'm a freshman. Then we transition and turn into a sophomore the next year, and because the next school season starts, right?
Yeah, I'm a senior.
And I remember I go back out there. This is now February. We're starting to fast forward. We're best buddies. I've been hanging out with all your friends.
I mean, I literally am dragging him to like parties from like all of my friends
in Boise.
Joe is not even hanging out with too many people from his high school. He's like got like 2 buddies, but he just will drive 40 minutes to come hang out with me and my friends.
Dude, it was awesome.
And he was like little baby Joe to everybody. Yeah. And everyone loved him.
That's so true. That was really fun.
But so February comes around.
I think there was a basketball game that night, and I went home. I didn't, not one of my games. I was watching like a varsity game. Gotcha. And instead of going home, I go fishing. And again, I went night fishing by myself. Don't recommend it, but I knew the area very well. the place that we'd been.
Same zone.
Same zone, parked in the same spot. Same run, or same, I guess I'd say 400-yard stretch. Different part of the run, different fly. February, different time of year, different flow.
Different time of the night.
Different time of the night, because we caught ours we caught him at 27.5 inches, 4:45 a.m. And I'm casting in the tail out with a big, again, self-tied fly, black. Honestly, I've never tied a fly since. That thing is disgusting. Both of those ties, black and purple and red, circus peanut. Articulated. Dude.
The dopest circus peanut, I remember, because it had like red and blue dubbing around the eyes. Mm-hmm. And it was, and the
black
rubber legs.
I had purple rubber legs. It was disgusting, because on this river, I thought crawfish. For sure. So I had a big black crawfish pumping through the tail out, bunch of rubber legs. And this time it got smoked. It was not it got smoked again, but this was not a slack bite. Full swing, and it was like, boom, smoked it. And this is at 9 p.m. It's like just got dark in February. Well, it'd been dark probably an hour or two, and it was cold. I was in a Patagonia puffy, and I'm by myself, and I get this fish in the net, and I'm like freaking out. I'm like, this is my new PB. This is a giant. And I'm like drawing a blank. I'm by myself. My buddy Derek I called him right away. Fish is in the net, head in the net, barely fit, by the way. Worst net job to this day I've ever had solo. I had no light, and I hit him. I bonked his head 100 times. I scooped and slopped him out 100 times. Worst solo net.
He was in the net, and then he was out of the net. He was in the net.
Couldn't fit in the fish pond net.
Like, holy crap. At some point, you have to bail on the rod and go for the tail, which is really hard.
I didn't. I eventually got him in the net. But my gosh, he deserved to swim for another day. He deserved to get away. He really did.
Yeah,
and
should have, but the man upstairs
got him, and called my buddy Derek right away, because I knew he lived super close. And he was
like 2 houses down, because we're talking, this is urban.
Dude, he literally was
ran out of his backyard.
He was somehow on the road. He was driving like between somewhere and somewhere, and he was like, dude, he's like, I'll make a left turn. I'll be there in like 2 minutes. So I just kept the fish's head in the water. Cold water. I'm sitting there with it. I'm soaked. Sleeves are soaked. Getting freezing.
Who cares?
And I'm holding him, and I'm just like looking at this thing, and I'm like, this is unbelievable. Mm-hmm. Comes, takes picture. We measured it at 28 inches. Months go by, and the fishiest person we know, Christian Reed.
And we'll shout this guy out a lot. And I really hope he watches this video one day and hears this. But you are 100% the fishiest.
There's no one fishier that I've ever met.
Ever. But
and he points it out. He goes,
and he's like our he's a really close buddy.
He's our mentor.
I love that guy to death.
Absolutely.
So when he says stuff, you listen. And yeah, I remember him.
Dude, I never thought twice of it. Mm-hmm. I see this fish. I'm looking at the 27.5-inch picture, and now I have a 28-inch picture. I never once thought that it was the same fish. And Christian texts me, and he's like, dude,
it's the same one.
Is that the same one? And he's like, have you like looked at the spots and the... And I looked and I looked and I looked. And granted, when we caught it in July with you, skinnier fish, yellow in color, different build. In February, this fish was much stronger, much healthier than when we caught it in July. Mm-hmm. This fish was opaque, more white-gray, chrome, much thicker on the back, and it was the same fish.
Same fish.
So dude. I let the fish go, safely released. Never heard of him getting caught again. That's an old fish. You never know. But I did get a replica of that fish, and it's in my house right now with both of the flies in its mouth.
Yeah, in his mouth. And whenever we get really drunk on payettes, we like to grab that thing and play.
Start taking pictures of it.
You know what I mean? Dude, but that, I remember hearing from Christian being like, no, I mean, that's the same fish. And I was like, I never really thought about that. And then he was like, it happens more than you think. Mm-hmm. And I was like, really? And this was still relatively kind of early on in our days. And so now where we live and guide and spend most of our time, we see this happen sometimes, which is
good catch and release practices as well. It can happen.
This is a really cool thing. I think these kind of stories are really captivating, and I love hearing about them. Is like a trophy fish getting caught, right, and being taken care of correctly, released back into the wild.
Yep.
You catch him a half an inch bigger, 3 or 4 more pounds on him, healthier than he was when he was caught before, no blemishes on him, damn near looked perfect. I mean, no wonder why you didn't think you could ever caught him again. He didn't have a scar or a scrape or
And
nothing.
today, that's still my PB. I've never caught a brown trout bigger than that.
Yeah, I mean, a 28 is, guys, that's epic.
That's a fish of a lifetime.
Everyone wants the 30, but I don't care who you are.
If you catch one of those, especially in a local fishery,
that's
another reason why Christian pointed that out. Is he said, like, I hadn't thought of that, but there's not many of those in that river.
Could be 8.
There could be
honestly.
There could be a dozen of those things in a 60-mile stretch. Who knows? But that's why he pointed that out.
And now we really take like close look. When we catch a nice big fish, we try to take, just when you're taking your pictures really easy, it's really easy to get cheek shot, flip it over, cheek shot. And then you always have that's the unique fingerprint right there.
Yeah.
It's cheek, his face. There's going to be something that is
spots as well.
Or like something like
that's
a bump
how we knew
was
there was I think there was 3 spots kind of near his tail that were
like,
the same.
Wham.
But
did the whole pick collage art, put them next to each other, and I was like, bro, that is him.
Wow. That's the origin story.
An epic story.
And then ever
epic
since,
fish.
There's a lot of stories between then and now, but what do we got for time? Let's take a bathroom break.
Yeah, we go for a bathroom break.
Bathroom break. And we're back. Thanks for the bathroom break, guys. We're right back. We're going to wrap up the origin story. That was the origin story, which really is a lot to do with that fish. That fish, which is honestly so cool. I'm so glad I got a replica of it. I think I paid $400, and this was now my sophomore year. Some guy in Meridian, Idaho, in his garage, an old son of a gun.
Some G.
He done it up, and it's not perfect because it's a replica. If you guys don't know, when you do like, what are they called? I'm blanking on the name.
Fish taxidermy.
Taxidermy. Thank you. That was the word I was looking for. Usually you keep the fish, and you can get a very good close replica.
Well, I mean, a lot of times too, you take like super good pictures of it, and you pay a lot more money, and you get a really good replica back.
Correct.
You had pretty shitty photos of it. Because I mean,
I don't even get an iPhone.
You by yourself, like you don't even have any really photos.
Derek had his little Nikon, snapped a couple photos, and I let it go. I didn't even get like an iPhone video.
No.
Wish that we did, but if you catch a personal best, get girth as well. Get girth, go around that back fin or front fin, pectoral fin, I think.
It's widest part.
Right, widest part, and then the length, of course. But it was 28 inches, got a replica, and that fish is still in my house. Every time you walk in, it's on top of the mini fridge.
So epic.
And that fish...
It's got a couple of new flies in its mouth because Joe's caught some browns since then, and we just keep every big brown trout.
Adding big black flies to his mouth.
And they're all big and black, and they're all in there. That's hilarious. But
hey, if you're fishing black, stay out of there.
Yeah, stay out of there. But it was a really epic moment. I remember getting the call after he'd landed and let it go, and I was just so happy, elated, and I was just thinking like, dang, Joe is a real deal. He just within 6 months has stuck to high 20s. So I was thinking, holy crap.
Is it more goated that they were the same?
Yes.
Or would it have been more goated that if they were 2 different fish?
No, I think it's more goated that it's the same because it just shows that we took care of that thing and we did the right thing when it comes to catch and release. I mean, if you got fish, if you're catching big fish and taking pictures of it or whatever, just make sure that it's alive so that someone else can take a picture with it again. If it ever gets caught, if it ever gets fooled again. But it's important. It's our job, right? Like the only thing we can really do is tell you guys to just keep the head in the net. Like this is by far science. It's just logic. Okay, this is just how it works. The fish's head has to be in the water as much as possible. It can be in a net as long as
you
it's
can keep
in
it in the
water.
net for yes, it's stressful.
Of course.
But if you have a net with a deep bag and his head's in there and he can do a 360
put him in the current and let him chill and swim in the net.
Yeah, and you're in clean, you're not in mudded up, silted water. You're in just kind of clean water with him and a little bit of flow. Dude, you can hang out with that fish for a lot longer than most would think.
I mean, it's better to take your time, not squeeze and grab that thing and abuse that thing and have your fingers slide into its gill when you're trying to hold it, because it's a lot of times too when we bag fish, they're not done fighting. No fish is done fighting until he's back in the water and released again. He's always going to be fighting you, but if you have him in the net and you're chill and you're not moving a whole bunch and you have him in there and you just have a hand on its tail and you're just chilling with it and it's in a like almost a sleep state. Mm-hmm. It's when you grab that thing and start reefing on it once you land it and start trying to take pictures while it's slapping everything and everything. That's what you want to try to avoid is the stress. That's the stress.
It's almost like when we land a fish, we go into a different like mode. Like it's chaos, and then me and you, like we try and prioritize that we just make it now a zen moment. It's like, okay,
just breathe, get this thing happy, healthy, and in a good spot, and then now take our time, not take our time, but it's like make sure you have everything. And we always do because we've been doing this too long. Like we have a camera on us, we have the iPhones.
That first picture, we kind of almost did that without like looking back on it. We kind of did that the same way we would do a big fish picture now. Like we got a couple pictures of it. You grabbed one with it, and we let it. And then he darted off.
Yeah, I mean this is a big argument because we've been attacked before
for
online about quote unquote hoeing out fish or like having fish in our nets too long and stuff, and it's bullcrap because no one's ever there in the moment. No one ever sees it, right? So they're just assuming that we're doing this to
our
fish.
Our job is to show you the fish we catch.
Right, that's our job. And also, we're on the water a lot. We're catching a ton of fish. We're guiding all the time. Like we know how to take care of fish. And if we didn't, we would see that there's fish not being caught again, right?
Right.
I mean, we've experienced it. Joe has caught a 25 or guided a 25, and then I stuck him at 28, and then someone else stuck him at 29, and someone else stuck him at 31. Like this has all been documented, recorded. So it's like we get attacked by this all the time, and it's like you guys actually don't even know what you're talking about.
Catch and release is a lot bigger deal than most take it, and majority of people say they catch and release and are doing it entirely wrong. So maybe we'll do a podcast about catch and release one.
I mean, we totally can. We kind of did.
It's almost like we just did it right there.
We kind of did, but I don't know.
We believe really strongly in
and it's just frustrating because, like, it's science. Like the thing has to just breathe. That's it. Is breathe and then get it out as quick as you can.
I always tell my clients to hold their breath when they lift the fish up. I say, okay, hold your breath.
But once you can't breathe, it can't breathe, bruh. I mean, it's very obvious stuff, but super epic, way more goated to catch the same fish 6 months out.
I appreciate that.
I think so. I mean, right? You agree?
Yeah, that was cool. That was cool. That's the origin story. That fish is a special one. And then since then
we've been bestie friends.
We've just been best friends, dog. And what's so funny is we both now are guides who do night fishing thanks to Christian, and we and thanks to the place that we live and work. Absolutely. And the guides who support us above us that allow us to do it.
We're completely
so
grateful.
We're still out night fishing, which is so crazy.
We were out night fishing last night.
Literally last night.
Till about midnight.
I love it.
We were chasing
We night fished the last 2 nights.
And we didn't throw a single streamer, and we didn't throw a single mouse. So try to add that up in your head. How is that even possible, right? But it happens out there. So we were out there playing around with dry flies in the nighttime, which was cool. But that origin story was kind of the reason why Joe and I are still, here today. And pretty cool story. If you guys have any other questions or anything like that, we have this on YouTube. You can leave comments. If you
can leave comments on Spotify. Did you know that?
Really?
Dude, that's what I was trying to say earlier. We have a couple of comments on our first Spotify episode. Thank you guys for doing that.
Yeah, comment if you have questions about anything, or if you want to hear, if you've seen a video in the past and you want to hear this story on podcast. What we're going to try to do is all the really good videos we think we've done that are really kind of epic and fun. We're going to try to do recap videos on podcast about them, because then you can kind of learn a little more about the ins and the outs of that story or what happened. And sometimes in the moment we can't just capture everything.
It's good to go play by play now. We're going to talk about some of our other videos, which will be really fun.
And you're going to get the listener, I think, is going to get real good information. If you're trying to get education and information about doing it yourself in some kind of a way, I think you're going to get the information in the podcast, less out of the video.
Dude, 100%.
But
here we are now.
Rad video.
Here we are now.
Rad origin. Stoked that we got to talk to everyone about it. And what's super funny, too, is we were so close after that. Our first job ever, my first job ever, working for anyone, was at 16, and Joe got me the job at the big Jack's Urban Meeting Place
in
downtown.
Boise.
So every day after school,
Thomas Cuisine, baby.
We would work with Thomas Cuisine, and we were caterers, right? We'd have the big plated dinners. We would be pushing the hot boxes everywhere. I mean, we were doing all these funny things.
And we were making good money. I think we were making $18 an hour.
Shout out to Thomas Cuisine at
best
Jump.
Job, literally.
Go apply there if you guys want to have a good time. I mean, and Bennett is still the manager of that thing.
What's his last name?
Tapia.
Bennett, dude. Best man. We were having so much fun.
By far, still to this day,
one of the best jobs.
One of my favorite jobs I've ever had. Because Joe and I literally just hung out all the time.
I would drive,
so much fun.
dude, but that job was hard on me because I would drive from 40 minutes to there, and I would be spending the night at your house on school nights and then waking up and driving 40 minutes back to school. It was just really inconvenient, but it made it worth driving because we had so much fun and made great money. And all we did was we would work like probably 3 days a week.
Yeah, 3 or 4.
And we would just turn around and then we literally just took off days whenever we wanted, which shout out to our bosses who just let us take them off. Cool. And then we would just spend all the money on gas and food for the next fishing trip.
And a lot of those nights that we would get done with jump, we would just roll it right into going night fishing on the Boise right after.
Oh, yeah.
So we'd go fish right in town right after working in downtown. It was so much fun. But we got really close over that time period. And then I remember I'm a senior, and I remember Joe is a sophomore at a different high school. And one of the girls in our big prom group, senior prom group, like her date dipped out on her 2 weeks before prom, and she was all freaking out about like who am I gonna take to prom, this and that. I remember sitting there in the drama room or whatever, and I'm like, wait, guys, I have an idea who am I gonna be able to go with? I have an idea. I was like, why don't you take little baby Joe?
I got to go to 2 proms that year.
He went to my senior prom with one of the hottest girls at Timberline. Like, actually, like, it was so funny. Like, Joe was there senior. I was just trying to keep up, dude. And he was just this little baby Joe, and it was a blast. I mean,
if y'all remember when you're in high school, like if you're a senior, like you're starting to drink and party and have fun.
Sure.
And I'm a sophomore, and I'm still not like crazy. Like
you're not.
But you were trying to get me to go crazy, and I was going crazy.
On, man, it's freaking prom, dude. That's my senior
but it was
prom.
So fun.
We gotta go hard. And
because we did so much fun of stuff outside of fishing, and that's also, I mean, yes, we are best friends because we're fishermen, but
now not so much. If I never fished, if I couldn't fish anymore, I think we'd still be friends.
For sure. Maybe not to the same caliber, but definitely.
Yeah, because
But dude, that's just so funny.
It was so fun, and ever since then, I mean, we have some stints where we weren't as connected because
different
I went
jobs,
to
college,
different fly shops we've worked for. But it's funny as we always came back, and then we started this once we moved out here, and we got to where we are now. We haven't really looked back, like we haven't really changed anything since, and you guys are now here watching it, so it's pretty epic. So,
dude, I love it.
Rad episode number 2. I think it went well.
Comment below what you want to hear next. I think it's good that we're the who, what, where, when, why. That was our first episode. If you haven't watched that one, the link will be in the description below, or you can head over to our Spotify and there's a playlist there with all of our different episodes. We're starting to build them up, baby. So let us know what you want to see for some future episodes. That is the origin story. That's how Bradley and I met, and that's why I'm freaking filming this video with you right now. That's why we're fishing right now.
It's so fun.
That's a lit story.
And it gets me.
Now we have a little bit of work to do for this video because we're going to have to overlay a bunch of funny pictures of us, which you just saw.
Yeah, I think they're going
to. And they got to see the fish picture, of course.
Yeah, we got to show them the fish. But
all right.
So we're good?
We're good, dude.
All right,
Thank you for watching.
Let's
end it out. I'm gonna go. Wait, put it in the mic. And I'm gonna go punch out the camera. Wait, start it over.
Start it over?
Yep, start it over. Trust me.